The first thing is to stand upright.
Kalkacaksın ayağa.
We're here with Mike Grady. He's doing his
Okay, and the first step is to just
signature
feel your
ink
feet on
and
the
brush
floor.
class.
Ayaklarını iyice hisset yerde.
And imagine that you have metal rods coming out of the bottoms of your feet going 50 feet into the earth.
Ayağının altından demir çubuklar iniyor 50 metre aşağıya. Hisset
Now
bunu diyor.
imagine that those rods are pulling the energy of the earth up. And you can feel it. You can imagine it coming up through your body, through your hips, through your body, through your trunk, and through your arms.
Kollarından.
Set your brush down. And let that energy raise your arms like this. Imagine that the energy is just floating your arms, and then roll your hands back like this. And feel the energy in your hands. Feel it just a little bit of
Elindeki
warmth
enerjiyi
in your
hisset.
hands. And then relax.
Fırçayı ver.
Just relax.
Rahatla.
That's so. Now again, pull the energy up.
Tekrar aşağıdan çek.
Breathe in. Roll your hands back like this so your palms are facing out.
Dışarı doğru.
And now imagine that you're holding a ball.
Top. Elinin içinde top olduğunu düşün. Bir enerji topu.
This. Like a basketball. Now the basketball is pure energy. You can feel your arms defining the energy.
Sen
Push it
enerjiye
together,
karar
you pull it
vereceksin.
out. Push it together. Just feel it. Hold
Bastır,
it down.
aç.
Just below your navel. Just down
Şöyle,
here.
şuradan.
Okay, now just let the energy open.
Aç.
One hand goes down, one hand goes up, and the energy goes out. Again, you pull the energy up,
Yuh. Aşağıdan.
hands forward. Feel the warmth in their palms now. And very gently pull your hands together. Feel this ball of energy and just be comfortable with it. Just hold it any way you want. And then
This.
so now hold the brush in your hand and feel that your brush is a weight in your hand.
Bir ağırlık olduğunu hissettim.
Hold it just gently enough that it doesn't fall out of your hand.
Çok hafif tut yani, düşecekmişçesine.
You could have 3 fingers and a thumb like this, but there should always be something in your hand that you could put an egg into. You could be
Sanki
able
bir
to hold
yumurta
an
içinde
egg,
buraya
hold the
girebilecek
brush.
şekilde.
So let your brush and just feel the weight of it. Just feel it.
Hisset yani.
Roll it in your fingers.
Onun ağırlığını
Spin it around in your wrist.
çevir.
And now this time, put some water on your brush.
Şimdi nemlendir suyla. Islat.
And now just feel the energy come up. And instead of your hands going out, all that energy goes into the hand that's holding the brush. And you just feel the energy going down to the very tip.
Ucuna kadar elini hisset. Enerjini.
Feel your body. Feel the energy coming from your belly up into your body, into your shoulders. And then just hit. Just hit.
Sadece
Hit.
bir
Turn, you hit. And then turn the brush this way and then come out. Land, spin, and up. Land, spin, and up. Land, spin, and up. Okay, now load up some brush and just take your brush and set it in the ink so that the ink is drunk up by the brush. Don't try to push your brush into the ink. Let it drink ink. Hold it. Just feel the ink sitting on the end of the brush. And again, push and then out. Push and then out. You push and turn the brush inside of the length of the brush. So you're making a dot that shows a mark that goes in and a mark that goes out. Now, Coming from the other direction, you go dot, but instead of coming back and making it spin, you drag the brush across very slowly, and at the end, you twist and come up. So, if you have to line yourself up on the paper, so line down the middle, line down the paper. No. Line it up the center of your body. Like when you're going to hit somebody, you draw back and then you hit. This is the same thing. This is drawing back and then you hit. You spin and you come out. Hold it this way. Hold all three fingers on it. So you can roll it in your fingers like that. Yeah. No. Like this. Roll it back and forth. Yeah, that's right. Make sure it's vertical. Boom. And then twist and then up. Good. That's it. Everybody makes them look like dog bones if they're. Okay. Now the enzo. Watch. You have to line up on it. You can't do it at an angle. You have to be right down the
I have to
center.
be.
What's the meaning of the enzo?
Circle.
A circle.
Yeah. It always sounds more mystical if you say it in Japanese. You make your dot like this. Boom. And then, with the energy all coming from your center, start down and then come around. As you turn the brush. Turn the brush. That's right. Good. Good. Very good. Careful what you're going to brush up with a lot of ink to make it happen. Boom. Boom. See, I wasn't lined up on it and it went out of sync.
We need to be in the center.
So to be in the center of your page, grounding your feet.
Boom. Twist the brush. The end. Like an airplane taking off. Yeah, everybody wants to speed up the end. Just the end is where you go and do your stuff. Boom. And now slow. Ready to take off, ready to take off, taking off, taking off, taking off. There's a way you can do it to always get it to be circular. And you're doing it from your arm. Do it from your wrist.
Bileğinden yapacaksın gibi. Kolundan tutalım.
Like this. Always stays in the same place, only your wrist changes.
Sadece kolun oynuyor. Aman bileğin oynuyor.
Not like this. Like this. Remember, you've got to pull that energy up and let the energy make the mark.
That's the key.
You're not making the mark, the energy's doing it.
Yeah, that's it.
Here we go. And the initial is the strong.
Boom.
Circles.
Okay. There's one more kind of mark that I'd like you to learn. We call it the dagger mark.
The dagger mark.
You make your dot, boom, and then turning the brush into the mark, you pull it directly towards you, and you take off as you get off towards the end.
Önce koyuyorsun, kendine doğru çekmeye başlıyorsun baba. Ondan sonra bir yerden sonra kaldırıyorsun.
So, now everybody should get another piece of paper.
Oh, I'm liking this.
So this is the workshop you're teaching in New Zealand?
Yeah,
Ah,
this is kind of a condensed version.
yeah.
The last time I did it in New Zealand, I was talking about chi and energy.
Yeah.
Tell your father this, he'll get a kick out of this. There was this old guy who lived out in the countryside, and he'd come in to do this workshop.
Yeni Zelanda'da verdiğinde bu workshop'ı, çünkü yaşlıca bir adam gelmiş, o bölgede yaşayan böyle.
He
Yani.
wore a floppy hat and hiking boots, and he was really sort of a tough guy. And I had everybody do this workshop with his hands.
Herkes beraber yapmışlar.
And he said, the next day we did something else with the exercise,
Ertesi gün sonra gelmiş gene.
and he said, yeah, this is really true. I can feel it in my hands. I thought it was all just bullshit. You know?
İlk başta ilk gün yaptığında
It's really
pek hissetmedim demiş. Ondan sonra ikinci gün geldiğinde gerçekten bu hissediyorum yani, bu topu hissediyorum, bu enerjiyi hissediyorum.
And now he's speaking paintings and he says, well, yeah, it's all about chi.
Şimdi
It's all about the chi.
herkese söylüyormuş.
Okay. So, everybody grab a piece.
Okay.
You grab a piece.
Okay. So we're filling this atelier with chi.
With chi.
It's all already full of chi. All you're doing is grabbing some of it. There's lots of chi.
The prophet is here.
So, some of these characters. You already know one character. This is the character. Means number one.
Bir.
This number two. Here's the takeoff, the dagger shape. 10.
10. 10 oldu ha?
Tree.
Oradan rahat oldu.
10 becomes the tree.
That's it. Good.
Ah, that was the number that came to me.
10?
Start, stop, go, stop, and then kick.
That's the card I pulled today. It was completion.
Stop.
Number 10. Yeah.
After the
Very
training, when I
good.
did the ritual at the beach, 10 came to me.
Yeah.
The number 10, I'm like, I don't ever remember working with 10.
It's perfect balance, like yin and yang.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that worked. That
Easy
was
to
the-
do.
That was the
Make your
closing
vertical
ritual.
mark. And halfway across. It's got to have a little bit of a bend to it, because that's where the chi comes from.
A little bit of what?
A bend, so you don't make just a straight line, you make a little bit of a curved line.
In all cases? You never make it totally straight?
In
Or in that particular
It
one?
depends on the kind of script that you're writing. There's a
Ah.
style of script where everything is very straight, but there's another one, this kind, which is sort of running a script.
Wabi sabi.
Here's my favorite. Watch.
Şimdi en favorisini yapacaklar. Yapacağım.
You see, all the marks that make the character are related. It's all part of the dance.
Hepsi
So-
birbirinden bir dans oluşturacak şimdi.
Boom. This character in Japanese is much more interesting to say it in Japanese than Chinese. In Chinese, Shin Japanese kokoro.
Kokoro.
Kokoro.
Kokoro. Bu yani şu sembolik şey.
What does it mean?
Kokoro.
Heart, mind, and spirit.
Ah, this.
Heart, mind, and
I
spirit.
love it.
Yeah. Heart, mind, and spirit. So if you combine
Yani
Hmm.
ruh,
The
beden
character
ve kalp.
for one,
It's lovely that they have one word for that.
well, but if you say one kokoro,
Yeah.
it means at one with everything. And you will also find one kokoro combined with the inzo.
Ooh. Infinity?
Unity.
Unity. Unity.
And you can be expressive. You can play with these things. This is
Bunlarla
the-
oynayabilirsin yani. Bunlar temel şeyler diyor.
here's the
Daha
word for
hafif.
wind.
Bu şimdi rüzgar.
There's lots of wind in Turkey, right? Where you guys come from?
Yeah, where he's
But
at.
if you really want to make something that says wind,
Bu da rüzgar.
kokoro, if you want to be poetic about it,
Mind, body, spirit?
no, just heart, mind, and spirit.
Heart, mind, spirit. Heart.
Minus.
Ooh.
Almost like snake.
Very much like a snake. The Japanese and the Chinese believe that everything moves like this.
Kundalini.
Not like a snake, like a dragon.
The dragon.
You are a dragon, right?
I am a dragon.
I am a dragon as well.
You are?
I am. We're in the year of sheep.
Huh?
We're in the year of sheep.
Or ram.
I'm a ram. Yeah, sheep.
Yeah.
2 years ago, I took
It's supposed to be very artistic and creative.
Yeah, very good. But the thing
I
about
think I did too
kokoro,
much.
it's all one move. It's like,
Oh, I see.
so it's boom, here, here, here, and then it stops. Yeah, that's got it. You've done this before,
What?
Him?
right? Now this is really good. This
Oh,
Haji
yeah.
also used to say to us, Hiftidora.
So you learned this in Japan, yeah?
Huh?
Did you learn this in
I learned
Japan?
it in Boston.
Boston. Wow.
Bunu Boston'da öğrenmiş bu.
With one of our teachers' name was Kaji Aso. He always came to, everybody else was wearing, blue jeans and t-shirts and work boots. And Kaji Aso always came wearing three-piece suits and really expensive silk ties. And he would teach us this stuff wearing his coat.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Ve yani bu öğreten hoca buna Boston'da baba full kıyafet gelirmiş hep. İpek kravatına kadar. Bunu böyle.
And he said, hippie people, no good. Hippie people, no good.
Hippie people no good. Was this in the 60s?
Yeah, crazy and stupid.
Wow.
And
Disorderly for sure.
but later he said, hippie people have only one good thing. They understand tea ceremony. So since I was the hippie in the room, I ponytailed out my ass. And she's one of the only people in the world who remembers it.
Wow.
Big red ponytail. And he said, come, I invite you, have tea ceremony.
Wow.
Çay sermonisi yaparlarmış.
And so I sat down and he did this elaborate tea ceremony just for me, the next class meeting. And he said, hippie people, stupid, lazy, but understand tea, because they know how to act natural. So, good advice. If you want to do the tea ceremony, just act natural.
Kind of a contradiction, though, right?
Not
So you
really.
act it natural, but wear a suit
You
and
act
tie?
natural, but you follow every minute rule of the ceremony, you know it so well that acting natural is
An outcome.
automatic
Yeah.
when you know everything perfectly.
Authentic.
But in tea ceremony, the idea is everything is done by the host for the guest.
Hmm.
So that when they serve tea, the host will make the tea very elaborately, every move carefully decided. They'll mix the tea up to this really disgusting green bit. And then they hold the cup up and they turn it ritually until they have the most interesting side of the cup. And then they turn it 3 times until that interesting side of the cup is facing you. And then they give you the cup.
An offering.
There's a whole
And
ritual.
then you get it back, and of course, now that you're looking at the most interesting part of the cup, you basically turn it so that it's facing the host. You
Oh,
bring it back.
nice.
So everything is about making the other person feel very natural and comfortable. So
Reciprocity.
hippie people know how to do this. Unless you're too uptight. So, you have the rudiments. You have 3 of the 5 strokes. Actually, 4 of the 5 strokes. This is 1 stroke. This is 1. This is 1. It's 3. This is 1. The other one is impossible for you to do probably in a week, let alone 15 minutes. But I'll demonstrate it. It goes like this.
Looks like a little snail.
It's supposed to look like a chisel mark.
Oh.
And the character that it belongs to, most frequently used, is in Chinese, shui. Water.
What's it mean? Water?
That's the
Water.
symbol of water.
In Chinese, shui.
Way.
Not shui. Shui means terrible. Shui means water.
Way.
And shui, I don't know what shui means. I think shui means like pudding or something. Shui. So there are lots of ways to express things. And again, here's the way you make water, but if you want to make water fast, you express it.
Yeah.
Cool.
Or, here's one of my favorites. You do this in Japan and they have no idea what you're talking about. They like the look. It's this character. And Moon River.
Moon River.
That the top is moon?
We like the moon here at our Pearl people.
This is
Oh, what's the moon there? What?
sun.
Oh, that's the sun.
This is a no. Chi.
Gee,
Oh.
Energy, power.
very poetic. So this was
More commonly.
Huh.
Yeah.
She is power.
Chi is power.
Yeah.
People think it's life force, and it's partly that. It's also electricity.
Mm-hmm.
If you plug something into the wall, the Chinese will say that's Chi. There's a different thing called Shuen, which is living energy. It's only for things that are alive.
Like animate.
Yeah, but if you throw a rock at a car, there's Chi. You know, it makes Chi when it lands. Throwing it requires Chi. It's all about just transformation. It's exactly the same way a physicist would talk about energy. But Shuen is the body-spirit connection.
Oh. Wonderful class in intro to ink and brush
Well,
and life.
the thing is that the way the Chinese write and what the writing means are connected. When we write, it all just means whatever the letters say.
Yeah.
But when I say in,
There it is.
it's in my hand, it's in my body.
The animate
it's in
force.
Mark, it's
Ah.
the animating force. And
Yeah.
a little known fact, your father will give it to me. An appreciation of this. There's an organization that keeps track of the most money spent every year at auction, at public auction, the whole world. And they list the top 10 artists based on how much money each artist is, how much is spent on each artist's artwork. Not just for a single work, but for all of their work. They started keeping this record in 1990. And every year, the top 10 were the ones that you would expect. If their work went on the market, it was Van Gogh. Well, Van Gogh gets $150 million for one painting.
Bir organizasyondan bahsediyor yani sanatçıların yaptığı, sattıklarından aldıkları gelirden bahseden bir organizasyondan bahsediyor. 90'lardan beri bunu şey yapan yani, gruplayan,
So from 1991 until
91'den
2008,
2008'e kadar
everybody on that list was either from America,
Amerika,
England,
İngiltere,
Germany,
Almanya,
France,
Fransa,
or Italy.
İtalya'dan sanatçılar.
Period.
Yani
That's it.
Lancome, o bu. Aha.
Nobody from Turkey, nobody from Egypt,
Uh-huh.
nobody from China, nobody from Africa.
And all that.
Çin'den. No, of course.
It's still all men. Still all men.
It's still all men.
In
Hep de
2008,
erkek zaten.
an artist showed up on the list to everybody's utter amazement. His name was Fu Baoxi. Nobody had ever heard of him in America. But in China, his work was going for 12, 15, 18 million dollars a
Çinli
piece.
2008'de ilk defa bir Çinli sanatçının şeyi
Fu,
girmiş.
Fu Baoxi.
Fu Baoxi.
In 2014,
2014.
half of the people on the list were Chinese.
2014'te listenin yarısı Çin sanatçıları.
So the Chinese artists
Bu
like
tip sanatçıları.
Zheng Daichen, Fu Baoxi, Xie Pai Shi. All of these are traditional Chinese artists.
Yani geleneksel Çin
Çin.
sanatçıları bunlar diyor.
Also artists now that are not so traditional, like Ai Weiwei,
Aha, ay,
yeah.
aha.
Guo Baishi, who works with smoke and fireworks.
Oh
I
yeah.
like his work.
Me too.
Everybody does. Last year, $128 million at auction for all of his work.
Wow.
He came in just behind Andy Warhol
Andy Warhol'dan sonra
Wow.
ikinci sanatçı gelmiş 2014'te.
and ahead of Rembrandt.
Yeah.
So the moral of the story is this isn't some exotic other culture. It's our culture.
Evet.
The Chinese have bought it and paid for it and nobody's noticed yet.
Yeah,
That
amazing.
means that we don't get to think in the traditional exactly what he was saying. Not just language, but the way we think about the world.
Her şey artık değişiyor. Sırf dil de değil diyor yani. Biz sanatçı, düşündüğümüz sanatçı da eskiden sanatçı dediğim diyor sanki o ülkelerden gelirmiş gibi düşünüyorduk. Halbuki diyor her ülkenin diyor kendine göre sanatçısı var diyor. Ama diyor ne para veriliyordu ya da hani ödenmiyordu. Kendi halinde oluyordu. Şimdi Çin yani böyle bir adamın böyle bir isimle bu kadar büyük isimlerle beraber olması diyor. O anlayış da değişiyor yani diyor. Dil gibi diyor.
Sanatkarlar da yani değerlendiriyorlar yani. İçinde
Evet.
oluyor. Evet.
Kaset düşme.
Kabul görmesiyle alakalı.
Thank you, Mike. That was wonderful.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.